So there is never a dull moment raising kids. Autumn and I have 4 amazing children, and our house very easily could be described as a madhouse from time to time. Whenever my mom is around, she always tells me, "You are reaping what you sowed for all the trouble you caused me early on." I don't know if your parents have ever said that to you, but I always kind of chuckle when she says that. It reminds me of one particular story. So when I was a kid, there was a ball that I won at the fair that had suction cups all around it. And so the idea was that you could throw that against the wall or whatever, and that it could stick, and then the suction cups made it to where it would roll down the wall. Thought it was very, very cool until I tried it on some glass that was in our living room. So our living room had this beautiful china cabinet that had been passed down to my mom. It was this beautiful piece of furniture, and it had this gorgeous glass on the front. Well, my childhood mind thought, I'm going to throw this suction cup ball up against that china cabinet. And sure enough, I threw it and it stuck, but not until it shattered the glass all across the side. My mom then came into the room and said what maybe you got to hear from your parents back in the day. My mom looked at me and said, "That's why we can't have nice things." And I just remember thinking, oh, I'm so sorry, Mom, I'm so sorry. Now listen, when it comes to your life, there are some things in your life that are very, very special, that God has created for a very special purpose. And they are the nice things of your life, the very best of who you are. I'd like to teach you a concept today that we call the concept of first fruits. The idea of living beyond yourself is realizing that someone in your life gets your very, very best. At home, at work, in your finances, in your free time, there is someone in your life that is going to constantly receive your very best. And if we're being honest, the person who typically receives the best is you. You reserve the very best for yourself. A disciple comes to a realization that Christ is first in my life, but that I'm also going to strive to put others before myself. Jesus says it this way, that it's a powerful thing when we consider others better than ourselves. I'd like to illustrate this for you through the concept I like to call the concept of first fruits. First fruits is being cognizant of who it is in your life that is getting your very best. So at our house, I'm the one who does the cooking. We have a rule, whoever cooks doesn't have to clean, and honestly, I'm probably getting the better end of that deal. Autumn does most of the cleaning, and then I get to do most of the cooking. If you are the cook at your home, when I cook, I make mashed potatoes, or I make chicken, or I make biscuits and gravy. I love biscuits and gravy. And when I do the cooking, I can tell when I put a plate together which of the plates is the best plate. Also, in our house, our sweet son Jack had taken our forks and then, in his terrible two-phase, had taken the forks and bent them so that all of our forks have bent edges. And so whenever we eat our food, you can tell there's 2 forks in our collection that are still good, but the rest of them all have about a 90-degree angle bend to them. So when we go to eat, I look at the plates that I've prepared, and I know which plate is better than the other plate. Not only that, you have a visual representation with which fork that we use for which fork is the first fruit fork of this as well. So I've got to make a decision. I've made plates for both myself and my wife. Who gets the first fruits? Who gets the best? Do I give her the best fork? Do I give her the best meal? Or do I withhold them for myself? I love that example, because some of you would say, what does it matter? It's still just chicken and potatoes. But to you, you know who got the best. When it comes to your relationship with God, you also know when God gets your best and when God gets your leftovers. Just so you know, this is important. It's one of the very first stories ever told in Scripture. Genesis chapter 4 gives us the perfect example of this in the story of Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel struggle with this concept of first fruits. It says that Cain has fields and that Abel keeps his flock. And in both cases, God has called for them to give an offering, a first fruits offering of what they've taken in. It says Abel offers God the very best of his flocks. And because of that, God blesses him greatly. But Cain withholds the best for himself. and it causes him to feel angry. The Lord even says to him, do you not realize, Cain, that if you offer up a first fruits offering to me, that you will be blessed? And then the Lord says to him, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, and you must master it by giving me your best. Selfishness causes great anger, but selflessness is the antibiotic for anger in your life. We've got to come to a point where we give God our very best first, and then he in turn turns and blesses us. The story of Cain and Abel has a sad ending. Abel continues to give God his best, but Cain is overtaken by anger. I can't help but wonder if there aren't some of you watching this study today that if you took an honest look at your life, you would realize that you have a deep struggle with anger because you are not giving God the first fruits of who you are. When it comes to your home life, who is getting your very best? When it comes to your work life, who is getting your very, very best effort? Are you working unto the Lord, or are you trying your best to serve a taskmaster or even climb a corporate ladder that you have in the back of your mind, or really that's honestly in front of you? Are you trying to please God in your finances, in your free time? Who's getting your first fruits today? Your assignment this week is to take time and to analyze in your journal that's connected to the book that's been given to you, to analyze who is receiving your first fruits. Before we address how we can change and discipline out selfishness, we need to come to a point where we realize exactly where it is that our time is going. So this week, you're going to be putting together an inventory, specifically of who is getting your first fruits at home, at work, in your finances, and also in your free time. The hope of this study is not to shame you, but rather to make you cognizant of where those efforts are going, where your heart is residing. Scripture even tells us where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. I'm praying for you this week that God might give you wisdom and insight to understand where your allegiance lies at this point so that you can truly become selfless in your connection with Him.